Hello everyone, it's Nakars from Serious Casual on Melganis, and here's my video of me in the Proving Grounds doing the Endless Healer achievement. Quickly watch the first 20 waves here, and then for the last 10 waves we'll go into more detail for each one. In the meanwhile, we can discuss setting up for Proving Grounds and the kind of stuff that I use for this challenge. First thing you want to do is you're going to want to get gear with Spirit, obviously, and then you're going to want to get gear with as many sprockets on it as you possibly can. So you need to pay attention for things like 2-socket boots and 2-socket weapons and 3-socket pants, 2-socket necklace, stuff like that. You also need to be aware that the legendary metagem does not work, so you're going to want to get a traditional metagem for this. You're going to want to get the int crit one. And your legendary cloak won't proc, but it has a ton of stats on it, so it's very beneficial to use. It also has a socket. Once you get the gear, you're going to want to reforge it for Spirit if you don't have your Spirit on a piece, and then you're going to want to focus on crit, and then you'll want to focus on mastery. Some other things you might want to focus on are some macros. You're not going to need the macros, but just be sure that you're able to penance offensively and defensively very easily, that you're able to smite target very easily as well as use Holy Fire. Other helpful macros are things for Shadow Fiends to make sure that they're constantly attacking and they get on a target. Sometimes even my Shadow Fiend doesn't like to getting told what to do, as you'll see in the video. So here we come up, getting into wave 20 here and finishing it up. As we're finishing wave 20 here, you'll see my method for regenerating mana between each 10 waves. It's using the Claxi Ambers. They regenerate mana faster than water, and they can't be interrupted, so it's really the preferred way to get your mana back between these 10 waves. This first wave is really easy, and you shouldn't really have any problem here. Atonement should be able to do all the healing you'll need. You'll want to pop wings in the middle or so, just to kind of deal with those fireballs that are going up. They hit kind of hard by now, so you just want to stay ahead of the game, so you don't get surprised by anything crazy here. Popping wings early here also allows you to start building evangelism stacks back up again. You want to make sure by the end of the wave that you have 5 of them again, because we're going to want to pop wings again going into wave 2. So the wave's done, we go back and reset and get ready for the next wave. About 8 seconds to go or so before the next wave. I'm going to pop wings, and then I'm going to pop Spirit Shell, and we're going to get some prayer healings out on people to get some bubbles spread around everybody. The next wave can do some serious damage, so it's nice to get the bubbles out to make the healing a little smoother here. Really the key to disc is getting bubbles out before waves and quite a few times, so you're going to want to kind of get into that good habit. Stuns will go out initially on this wave, but then after the stuns are done, you're going to want to put barrier down to help with the tank. Because the big guy in this wave can really do a lot of tank damage, so it helps kind of keep it from being too spiky. It's still going to take some good healing though to keep the tank alive. But once one of the other guys goes down, it should be pretty easy to top everybody off, and then you get ready for wave 3. Which again, you're going to want to precast Spirit Shell going into wave 3. That's why we wanted to make sure we cast it before the wave in 2, so that the Spirit Shell cooldown is ready again before wave 3 is up. Spirit Shell has a 1-minute cooldown, so you need to plan around that. Wave 2, you're going to also want to cast Shadow Fiend or use Cannibalize if you're undead, so that either of those cooldowns are up when you need them again. So for this wave, it has 2 tunnelers, and the tunnelers put a dot on a guy, and it will not clear until you heal them back up over 90%. But if you get bubbles on everybody and they attack somebody, the dots will automatically clear as their health won't dip when they get the dot put on them. It's very good practice to get bubbles out before tunnelers come out on any good wave. Beyond that, wave 3 isn't very harmful at all, so it's just pretty much straightforward tank healing, put shields on him, and then just keep him up. It's smooth sailing right into the next wave. Wave 4 will come out, and it can do pretty good damage as well. So what I usually do is inner focus and greater heal the tank to get a nice bubble on him. That will help the big damage that comes from the big guy here. Melee guys will also stun all the mobs that come out. The stuns are over now, so when the stuns are gone, the little swirly marks above their heads, you're going to want to pain suppression the tank this wave. We also get dispels this wave. So dots will go out on 2 people. Sometimes you get 2 dots on 1 person, but you need to dispel them. Generally, you're going to want to prioritize melee over ranged. And if you can get 2 of them off with Mass Dispel and you feel like you have the mana, feel free to use Mass Dispel. I don't think in the 20s I use Mass Dispel very much, but I think in the lower levels I use Mass Dispel. Once one of the water acolytes is dead, and only 1 dispel is going out, it's obviously much easier. So wave 5 has a delayed tunneler, so you need to prepare for it. Initially the big guy doesn't do a lot of damage, so make sure you just get bubbles on everybody for the AoE damage, and then out comes a tunneler and we'll put a dot on somebody. The AoE already went out, there's a second AoE, and there goes the tunneler. And he put the dot right there on myself. So when the big guy enrages for this wave, you're going to want to put down barrier. So there goes barrier. And now that he's not enraged anymore, it's just a simple heal up everybody. There's no more surprises the rest of this fight. Just want to keep clearing the dots as you can. Palm is a great removal for the dot, along with obviously Penance. Will pretty much clear it out on anybody if you can. But I like to use Penance offensively as much as possible to kind of get Atonement going and to help speed the waves along. This wave is always long to kill too and will always bleed into wave 6, at least it does for me. Very rarely have I gotten wave 25 down before wave 26 starts. Wave 25 is a great time to use your second Shadow Fiend as well. Wave 6 introduces fire. Should not be too hard to get out of, but sometimes the range guys like to stand in it, so please be aware of that, and then if you need to, life grip them out or shield them and throw a palm on them. This wave is pretty simple, so you just need to basically shield somebody, shield the tank, and then throw palm, and it can really do most of the healing for this. As you see there's only 1 dispel to do. When there's only 1, it's pretty manageable. You can also use Cannibalize here like I am right there once those guys die. Cannibalizes quite a bit of mana. So be aware of that. Now we have 2 of the little Colossus guys out. They will both enrage 2 after 10 seconds, so you're going to want to make sure that you use pain suppression. That should be back up by now. Once you get pain suppression out, these guys when they enrage are pretty easy to deal with, and they come back down to normal pretty quickly. So continue to just get them down. And I probably, once this was a little more manageable, this wave I probably should have popped him. This wave probably would have been a good idea. I was probably anxious about getting into the next wave, which I feel is the most important wave of the whole thing. So for wave 28, we're not going to use any cooldowns, but we're going to try and do as much damage as possible and get these guys down as fast as you possibly can. So we're going to want to drag the hunter over to us so he doesn't stand in fire, because if you leave him in the middle, he'll just sit in fire the whole time. Mage is in the middle as well right now too, but eventually she'll start to run into melee just because that seems to be what she does through all the proving grounds. While Atonement will be able to get her even if she's in the middle, it's nice when she eventually gets in to melee, because in Divine Star now it can heal everybody, and it's very nice. So you continue to use Penance and Smite very offensively and get things down. You can use Land Sharks on these guys as well. The key is to get them down as fast as possible to get ready for the next wave. With everybody grouped up like this, they're pretty easy to keep everybody healed. But what we want to do is we want to make sure everybody is topped off. So You're going to want to kind of overheal things a little bit this round to get people healed up. You're going to want to cast Spirit Shell and get bubbles on people going into wave 29. There'll be an AoE that goes out there, and then a tunneler goes out to hit somebody, and it hits the tank right there. And there'll be another AoE after the mobs are stunned. See, the mobs are stunned there, you get a barrier down, and they get ready for the next AoE. There it goes out. So now we just need to worry about dispels and clearing the dot. That beginning of wave 9 is probably the hardest part that I had anyway, getting through all of this. I had Shadow Fiend up and ready to go going into wave 9, which is perfect because you can cast it at the beginning because you really just want to really push 3-put through wave 9 to keep everybody up and to get through this wave. You do not need a ton of mana for wave 10. You're going to spend the majority of your mana left here on wave 9. Now I still have him left, and I think that I end up using about half of a him cast, which is plenty of mana to get through wave 10. And you can see there, I don't have a ton of mana, but all we really need to worry about is when this big guy enrages here. But Pain Suppression should be back up when he enrages. He should do his little iron wall thing, shield wall thing. I got Pain Suppression on him beforehand. And then now it's just straight up tank healing and getting these two guys down. You have to do a little dispel there. It's obviously a little bit of a mana drain, but if you make sure that you solace and shield during this phase, you'll get enough mana return that you can pretty much keep up with any of the damage that's coming out. Not a ton of damage, don't panic. If you get to here with mana, you should be fine. And there we go. Here's the end of wave 30. And that's my attempt and completion of the Endless Healer Challenge. We were running up against Raid the other day when I was doing this, so I think I just ended up wiping on the next, but you'll see the achievement. If you guys have any questions, feel free to reach out on Twitter or find me in game, and good luck on getting your guys' titles. Thanks for watching. We'll talk to you guys later.